people are turning out. And they're turning out to try to pick the person they think would be the best president, but also the person as our nominee who would most likely be able to beat Trump. And clearly the Trump campaign and Trump himself know who they don't want to run against and know who they do want to run against.
Time is supposed to heal all wounds, but it sounds like 4 years isn't enough for Hillary Clinton when it comes to Bernie Sanders.
Well, it sure sounded like that. But I think as almost everything the Clintons do, there's a bigger purpose behind what's going on. I know you had Michael Goodwin on earlier, and he thinks the biggest purpose is that she is angling to be the default nominee of the party. But I think there's a slight variation to that. I think she's actually angling to be the vice presidential nominee, hoping that the party will understand that if Biden is the nominee, they've got to have a backup there that the public has confidence in, at least the Democratic side of the public has confidence in, might do the job. And since the party laid hands on her last time as the nominee, she probably feels that she can make the credible case that she would be the better alternative if Biden has to yield control of government.
His failure and the behavior of a lot of his top aides and certainly many of his supporters up to the convention, at the convention, and even up to Election Day was not helpful. I had thought we would unify. That's what we'd always done before.
Talking there, obviously, about Bernie Sanders, that doesn't exactly sound like a unifying statement, in and of itself.
Well, again, I go back to my original premise, is that this all had a purpose, and the purpose was to reinforce Biden getting the nomination. If that fails, to reinforce the fact that she would be the better alternative, not Bernie, and then to reinforce the fact that if Biden does get the nomination, she would add to the ticket more than anyone else. It's all structured around the Clinton agenda, not the agenda of the Democratic Party.
I will support the nominee of the Democratic Party.
But will you campaign for him?
I don't know if he would ask me to campaign for him, Fareed, because I have no idea what he is thinking about for a general election campaign. As I've said many times, I do not think he's our strongest nominee against Donald Trump.
Is that an endorsement of Joe Biden?
I'm not endorsing.
There's nobody left.
Well, I guess that's true. There isn't anybody left. But I think what Joe's victories on Super Tuesday showed is that he is building the kind of coalition that I have, basically. It's a broad-based coalition. I finished, most of the work I needed to do for the nomination on Super Tuesday, and then it kind of lingered on. And I think Joe is on track to doing exactly the same thing, putting together a coalition of voters who are energized.
In other words, Biden's going to lose.
Yeah.
If he's up against Trump, he's going to lose. I mean, I don't know. She lacks any and all self-awareness.
100%. She's talking as if she's president of the United States.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
I think the only reason she's not endorsing Biden is because she doesn't want to hurt his chances, because they all know she's deeply unpopular. So now she then turns around and goes, Joe's building the same kind of coalition I did. And how did that turn out? So we're rude for pointing it out. She's not rude for punching Bernie Sanders in the face 1,000 times on television and telling people that he's not electable. So they force us to say, wait, you would know how someone is electable how? You lost to a guy with an IQ probably under 70, okay? So let's just keep it real. Let's keep it real. But popular vote. No. You're not president. A doofus is president because your team sucked so hard that they lost to that orange clown.
Yep.
And so after losing to Ronald McDonald, I don't think you get to lecture us on how great your coalition was and how the same coalition should be the one going up against Donald Trump.
Well,
and Fareed Zakaria too. Like, no one has any self-awareness of anything.
Right.
You couldn't ask the question, but wait, you said that's the same coalition. It's not the coalition that lost to Trump.
But that would be impolite.
That would be to point out the most obvious thing in the world.
There's still a long time for public debate between Biden and Sanders. And if Biden begins to fall apart even more, then he has fallen apart with his gaffes to date. The party is desperately going to be looking for a third alternative, and that's what she's counting on, by either being the alternative at the top of the ticket or being the alternative as number 2.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing.